You wake up, and before you even open your eyes, your brain whispers the same sentence it has repeated for years. You're a failure. Not loud, not dramatic, just a quiet, constant verdict sitting under every thought. You feel it when you check your phone and see messages you didn't answer. You feel it when you open social media and watch people your age posting achievements, trips, weddings, new jobs, new lives. You feel it when you try to plan your day and a voice inside laughs softly. Why bother? You're just going to mess it up again. This voice doesn't scream. It doesn't need to. It has been there for so long that it no longer sounds like a separate voice. It sounds like the truth. You remember specific moments that seem to prove it. That exam you failed. That relationship you couldn't keep. That job you lost. That project you started with fire in your eyes and then quietly abandoned. Each one is like a stone you carry in your pockets. When you walk, you feel the weight. When you try to run, you sink. And every time you think about doing something new, something brave, the memory of those stones drags you back down. Look at your history, the voice says. People don't change. You are who you are, the one who always disappoints, the one who never finishes, the one who ruins everything good. You don't argue with it. How could you? You have evidence. You can list your mistakes like chapters of a book. So you stop dreaming so loudly. You stop trying so hard. You give up before you even start, then call it realism. You lower your expectations, not because the world asked you to, but because your own mind convinced you that you don't deserve more than the bare minimum. But tonight, I want to ask you a dangerous question. What if your mind is lying to you? Not about the events themselves. The failures happened. You did make mistakes. You did hurt people. You did let yourself down. The lie is not about what happened. The lie is about what those moments mean. Somewhere along the road, you stopped saying, "I failed," and started saying, "I am a failure." One is an event. The other is an identity. Imagine a child learning to walk. They take a step, fall, cry, and try again. No one looks at that child on the floor and says, "You're a failure. Walking is not for you. Stay down." We all understand that falling is part of learning. We expect it, we accept it. But when it comes to your own life, you don't offer yourself the same patience. The first or second time you fell, maybe someone around you said something sharp, something they don't even remember now, but your heart does. You always do this. You never get anything right. You're useless. You're a disappointment. Those words entered your mind when it was still soft, still forming. And instead of seeing your mistakes as steps in a process, You started seeing them as proof that something was wrong with you as a person. So now, every new failure doesn't just hurt in the present. It travels back in time and feeds the old story. See, it's happening again. Of course it is. This is who you are. But let's look closer. Take one situation where you feel you failed badly. Maybe a relationship, maybe a job, maybe something you swear you'll never forgive yourself for. Ask yourself, who were you back then? What did you know about yourself? About love? About boundaries? About mental health? About trauma? What tools did you have? What examples did you see growing up? What help did you receive? When most people judge themselves, they act like they should have known everything from the beginning, as if they were supposed to react perfectly in situations they had never faced before, as if they were meant to handle emotional earthquakes with the skill of someone who has already survived 10 of them. You look back at your past self from the top of a mountain of experiences and say, how could you be so stupid? But the person you were then was standing at the bottom, in the dark, with no map. It's easy to call yourself a failure when you ignore the context. It's easy to forget how scared, confused, lonely, or pressured you felt. It's easy to judge yourself now with a wisdom you only gained because of the very mistakes you hate. Here's another uncomfortable truth. A lot of what you call failure was you trying to survive. You didn't stay in that toxic relationship because you loved suffering. You stayed because you were afraid of being alone, or because you believed that was the best you could get, or because no one ever showed you what healthy love looks like. You didn't quit that job or course because you are incapable. Maybe your mind was drowning. Maybe your body was screaming for rest. Maybe nobody around you took your pain seriously. But the voice in your head never considers any of that. It ignores your humanity and reduces you to results. That voice is a bad judge and forgets the nights you spent crying, the weight on your chest, the family chaos, the internal battles. It counts only what can be measured. Grades, money, titles, expectations you didn't meet. And yet you treat this voice like a god. You never question it. When it speaks, you obey. You withdraw. You apologize for existing. You shrink your dreams to fit inside its narrow definition of what you deserve. So let's do something different. Right now, think of one thing you're proud of. It doesn't have to be big enough to impress anyone else. Maybe it's the fact that you're still here. Maybe it's a time you were kind when no one was kind to you. Maybe it's a habit you started, a boundary you set, a truth you finally told. That moment exists. Your mind tries to erase it or call it no big deal, but it's there. Ask the same harsh voice why it never uses that event as proof of who you are. Why is the failed exam proof that you're stupid, but the exam you passed is luck? Why is the relationship that broke proof that you're unlovable, but the people who stayed through your worst days are exceptions? Why is every mistake a tattoo on your soul, but every act of courage is quickly forgotten? You'll notice something strange. The voice in your head has a bias. It is not interested in the truth. It is interested in protecting a familiar narrative. Because as painful as it is to believe I am a failure, it is also safe. If you are convinced you are doomed to fail, you no longer have to take risks. You no longer have to try. You no longer have to face the terror of possibility. If the game is rigged, why even play? Calling yourself a failure is a defense mechanism. If you already expect the worst from yourself, no one can truly disappoint you. You hurt yourself first, so other people's judgments or rejections sting a little less. But this protection has a price: your entire life. So, what can you do? You don't need to wake up tomorrow and suddenly believe you're amazing. Your brain would laugh in your face. You don't fix a lifetime of self-hatred with one positive affirmation. Start smaller. The next time your mind says you're a failure, don't argue with a long speech. Just add one word: yet. I failed, yet. I didn't get this right, yet. I don't know how to do this, yet. That tiny word opens a window in a wall that felt permanent. It turns a prison sentence into a process. It reminds you that you are still moving, still learning, still capable of growth. Then when the voice shows you a memory as proof, respond with the full story. Yes, I failed that exam. I was exhausted. I didn't know how to study properly. No one taught me. Today, I know more than I did then. Yes, that relationship ended badly. But now I understand red flags I ignored before. I am not the same person. Yes, I wasted time. But I also survived things that would have broken the person I was. You don't have to erase your past to build a different future. You just have to stop worshipping it as the only version of you that exists. Listen to me carefully. You are not the sum of your failures. You are the person who walked out of them. Your worst days are not your definition. They are your training. Every moment you regret is also a lesson you paid for with pain. Are you really going to let that pain mean nothing by using it only to attack yourself? Or will you use it as fuel to do differently now? Every time you choose kindness instead of cruelty, you are not acting like a fake version of yourself. You are uncovering who you always were beneath the shame. Every time you try again after falling, you are rewriting your identity. Not the one who always fails, but the one who refuses to stay on the floor. There will still be days when the old voice wins, days when you look at yourself and see nothing but a list of unfinished stories. On those days, remember this: even if you truly were a failure yesterday, you woke up today. And that means the story is still being written. You are allowed to give your future self a chance that your past self never had. You're allowed to say, maybe I don't know who I am yet, but I'm done letting my worst moments decide it for me. You are not the failure your mind repeats. You are the one who hears that sentence, and despite it, keeps going.